Hello YouTube, my name's Marie and I have nothing to review today. I'm about 20 episodes into Angel's Last Mission. I'm really enjoying that, but it's kind of gotten past the point of when I can do a first impression, so I think I'm just going to do a full season review of that. And I've fallen out of Arthal Chronicles, and I've also fallen out of Empress Key. I was watching that before I went to Mexico. So I'm kind of like in this limbo world where I have nothing to review or talk about, but I haven't made a video in so long. So today we're going to do a list. We're going to talk about the reasons why I love K-dramas. Now, this question actually comes up a lot whenever I open up to someone and like let them know, I guess, that primarily the TV that I watch is Korean or Asian. Sometimes I watch a bit of Chinese. You know, I watch Chinese in bursts. Like, I'll just watch all Chinese shows for a month basically and then be done with it for a while. And people look at me like I'm really strange. Like I'm crazy. So yeah, let's just get into it. And the primary reason why I got into K-dramas in the first place is because I love romance. I am a romantic. I really need a romance subplot at the very least for me to love a show. You know, I've watched lots of more psychological or thriller TV and I really enjoy those. But there is something missing. I do need that little spice of romance to really bring up the enjoyment for me. So Korea is really, really good at presenting a romantic fantasy. I get it. I do know that these are fantasies, and I'm very good at being able to separate my media and entertainment from my real life. So I'm really good at being able to watch these like hyper romantic situations and not let it affect my real relationship. I know a lot of people aren't. I know they watch them and then they start feeling bad about their own life or their own relationships or their own partners. Doesn't happen with me. I'm not going to apologize for loving it, for being able to watch people be cute and be in love and do these romantic gestures and have these relationships, because they make me smile. They make me happy. So I love it. So my second point will be, I don't know, a little bit weird, confusing to some people, and the second reason why I really love K-dramas is because it's censored. Weird, right? But let me explain. Prior to watching a lot of K-drama, I was watching like R-rated shows like Game of Thrones and True Blood and just shows that have a lot of sex and have a lot of graphic sex. Like, I get desensitized to it and it can be kind of exhausting. Finding something like K-dramas that I wasn't worried about like a surprise sex scene just popping up, and like it could be innocent and could be lighthearted and could be like pure, is quite relaxing to me. Now when I watch a few K-dramas that I think are pushing the boundaries a little bit, Her Private Life, which is steamier, a little bit more adult, and those like intimate moments now have more of an impact than they were when I first started, when I had been more used to kind of like Western shows and how graphic those shows can be. So I think it's actually a really good thing. And they've done studies with like people who watch a lot of porn and like how that affects their relationships, and I think the same thing can be said when you're watching shows like True Blood and like very sex heavy shows. I think they have a similar effect on your brain and your psyche and stuff. We're gonna move on. I think you get what I'm saying. I do like that K-dramas for the most part are kid friendly, are family friendly. You know, sex is alluded to, but it's never shown. Like, the most you're ever gonna get is like a great makeout scene, and I appreciate that. Next, I think everybody can agree with this one, is that I love the culture. My first experience with Korean culture or any really Asian culture was through media, was through watching TV. Even though BC has like a like a really high Asian population. I live in a town where it was really primarily white hick hillbillies. Bowing to your elders, having a formal and informal speech, and like I found these things fascinating. I mean, how could you not when you're introduced to a completely different culture than your own? Whenever I learn a new word just by watching K-dramas, I get giddy, I get really excited about it. Yeah, and then like seeing these places on screen and then going to Korea and then seeing it in person was a amazing experience, and I honestly can't put it into words. It's almost like a dissociation thing, like you watch it on screen, but like I've never really traveled prior to going to Korea. So all I really knew was my small towns. It almost felt like a different world. And then the last thing I want to talk about is different trends. There's different story trends that each different culture will do, you know? Like Hungarian TV is really into tragedy, like long formatted tragedies, and that is not for me. I've tried it, I've dipped my toe in there, and that's not for me. And then with Korean TV, you know, 5 years ago, maybe a bit more, like they really latched onto that trend of like girls disguised as a boy trope. Culture definitely has different stories that they tell. So when I was first getting into K-dramas, I found everything very new and very exciting and very fresh and interesting to me, because now I can pinpoint a lot of the trends. I can say, oh, I've seen that done way too many times, let's move on. And I like that progression of like my media knowledge, you know? Yeah, the main points for me is that K-dramas are romantic, they're censored, they're vastly different in culture, and that, you know, they tell very different stories, ones that you're not used to. Please let me know yours down below. I think everyone gravitates to different things, so I'd love to know what you guys love about K-dramas. The people are frickin' beautiful. Side note, okay, maybe this is too much to bring in at the end, but there's a long history within Western TV of demasculizing, is that the right way to say that? Basically like castrating Asian male characters. Sad on many levels. Sad that the producers of like Western media are like so threatened by Asian guys that they have to castrate them, that they have to demasculize them so much. And then sad also for like a lot of Asian Americans or Asian Canadians who like grow up and like can never really see a role model within like the TV here. Anyway, so I was a product of that. Before I would never ever ever have told you that I thought Asian guys were attractive, because I was fed that kind of media all my life. And if you don't think media affects you, you're wrong. I definitely look at both Asian men and women differently, because they're the ones that are put into the heroic positions, into the heroic roles. They are the heroes and the heroines, and they are the ones that get shit done or are the romantic interests. And I find that sort of media engagement very interesting, very fascinating. I don't know. Does anyone get what I'm trying to say? Seeing different ethnic groups portrayed in the way that they would like to be portrayed, because it's media created by them for them. Have a good day, have a good night, bye.